Hello, hello, and welcome back to Games My Guy podcast, the esports podcast by fans for fans. And I am Patrick Aches Avery Kenny, and joined as always is my PIC, my player in crime, if I'm going to be super cringy, Ethan Doc Goose Butler. What's up, man?
My heart's just full now after hearing that. I just feel so good. I
You
feel
feel
nice.
full? You feel
I
full?
feel fresh, feel clean, feel ready. Spirits are up.
Yeah,
Spirits are up for the first time in feels like a long time. So it's good.
it's been a bit of a drought for the Toronto boys and for us, but things have been really, really good. I mean, in the last podcast, we talked about their amazing tournament run, far exceeding my expectations, and I know far exceeding most people's expectations of what they were going to do. It was just a good games. Like the games were really good. The Philadelphia Fusion game was fine. I mean, it's a 3-0, but like that's okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
what
they got way further than we had ever anticipated, and
no, we
they're
expected them to
playing.
go out right quick.
Yeah, exactly. And they're playing like they've never lost before. They're playing like a completely different team.
They're playing with such confidence for the first time. It feels like in a long time. Like Logits is popping off, Agility is going off, Numlocked and Nevitz are playing together very well. Kareev and Carews are just fucking
Caruso.
killing it. God, good lord, I'll learn to speak. But it's I don't know. They just look like a team that you can cheer for again. Like we're always going to cheer for them. We're never. You don't abandon them in times of struggle. Never. But if you do, but you can't do it. So, but right now they just feel like they are believing in themselves, which is nice to see because they have the pieces on this team. There's talent on this team. They should be able to be at least an upper mid team. Like they should be in the playoffs.
I agree. I 100% agree. And they really showed it last week. But I mean, with new games coming up comes new challenges, and with new challenges come very, very interesting dynamics that we could be seeing coming out. I mean, for the next week, we have the hero bands that have been brought in now. Arissa's gone,
Yes,
yeah, and
I've
it.
been. I don't get me wrong. I'll just say this: I don't actually hate Arisa. I sometimes enjoy playing her. It's a hoot,
Yeah,
but it's been such a long haul of like pure Arisa Sigma play, and like I'm not exactly tired of Sigma play, but I wanted some Roadhog even at some point just to mix things up a little bit. But without Arisa in it, you get to see our boy Reinhardt. Hopefully, I'm praying. I've been waiting. I love a fast shatter. All of my favorite main tanks only really like to play Reinhardt, and so I want to see them happy again.
it,
Like Super's coming off the bench, baby. Fusions is going to be. He says his prayers were answered the other day on Twitter, and I'm just so happy to see them happy.
totally, totally, and it's gonna change the play style up completely. We might not see any Sigma this time going around,
Mm-hmm.
and if not Reinhardt, we're gonna see Dive, which Toronto has proved to be one of the better teams at it.
I'm curious though if it does go to dive, do you think Beast will start over Numlocked?
In my opinion, it really feels like they really doubled down on Numlocked. Like they if just from the showings and the amount of time they've put into Numlocked, even
Mm-hmm.
having him play Winston on certain defense maps. So I think they've doubled down on Numlocked. I could be completely wrong. Who really knows? But with Orisa out, I still think Numlock is they're going to play the Reinhardts, they're going to play the Winstons, and I think it's going to take a lot to get agilities off that Genji. So it's really agility
Yeah,
is going to be playing Genji, and then we're going to find out what everyone else is playing because the Ana ban is very very interesting in that dynamic,
it's true.
especially lacking a nano blade is really going to change the way the teams are going to be approaching
You
team
can't be
fights.
as like careless and carefree as a Genji anymore. Like especially also with the way the braid nerfs I believe are coming in.
Yes,
And so if that there's the armor pads aren't going to be hitting as hard anymore.
and there's a
So
diva
that's
buff as
really going to
well.
be limit. Yeah, exactly. So many things are put in place. Like Genji himself is still very strong. He builds blades super fast. The decrease in spread on his right click is excellent for just being annoying and doing continuous damage, and of course his dashes. But he's going to have to play. He can't just be so. You can still play aggressive, but you can't have them all halted together and go for a quick dash and just fuck shit up real quick.
Yeah.
You have to be a bit more strategic.
Yeah, it's
And I'm
gonna.
not saying that's not strategic. It's just you have to play a bit safer, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it gives you a win condition, right? Where you have the
Yeah.
Genji blade and the nano. So it like that's just a straight up win condition in the meta that we've been playing, where there's no defensive ults and it's just Baptiste and Brig fighting against the world the whole time. So it'll
But
be it
now,
for now, yeah. So we'll
yeah.
see. We'll see what switches up. I think Lucio's coming back. Like that's an easy pick for if you're running a Reinhardt like Zarya comp that I think will probably come back with Orisa being out. I just don't see. I don't see.
Sorry, it comes back.
Yeah, I just don't see Sigma coming into the rotation with Orisa banned.
I think I saw Surefour posted what he thought the bio was going, like the sorry, not the bio, the meta was going to be, and it was something. One second, I'll pull it up.
Please.
But it was supposed to be like, I think he said Ryan, it's like Sigma. One second. Had to distract the people.
Yes. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the Widowmaker ban as well, and how much that's going to be hitting a lot of the teams that have DPS players, hit scan players that are very dependent on these high skill champions like Ashe and Widowmaker. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it'll affect too much, especially on like on control maps. Like you won't we don't really see the Widowmaker too much, but if you're looking at maps like Anubis or if you're looking at Volskaya, those are maps that we've seen Widowmakers on.
And also the Mei ban makes an interesting little thing because now you can't just run a Mei was used to counter the Genji a bit.
Yeah.
And some on certain maps, like I saw it used on like I think it was King's Road Defense, the Defiant tried it on and whatnot. So the Mei actually was very beneficial in a lot of ways. But now with that out, agility is limited pretty much to the Genji, Doomfist, and Pharah. But Pharah is probably not going to be played. Let's just be real. Doomfist very unlikely as well, and that means Zig's probably not going to play either. He's brought in primarily for his Mei, I believe. But
that's right. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what some of the comps are. But okay, I found it here. Surefour said in response to Bren, he thought the Orisa ban might mean less Genji. But Surefour said Ryan, Sigma, Bap, Braid, Ashe Torb, Genji Torb, and dive on specific maps with Lucio and Moira.
Heck yeah. Dive on specific maps. That's what I love to hear.
That's going to be awesome. Bap and Braid people are theorizing, though. That's
still Brig, eh?
I'm curious to see if that stands. Because the Bap I get, because the immortality feels stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But
like, it's just dumb. It's just dumb.
Like I get it shouldn't be able to cancel out ultimates, essentially. Like if there's a drone with Flux coming up, we don't need a defensive ult. Why? Oh, just throw this little lamp down.
Yeah, I have a 10-second cooldown that makes me invincible. Like
it's dumb. It shouldn't. Like I think, and maybe it can be used to save lives in like fights and shit like that. But come on, man, you take away the one of the coolest things Sigma does, and like he floats up in the air and well, maybe we'll get the lamp in time. Maybe we'll take it out after they're all at like 2 health before they immediately get healed up. Fuck, I've been watching that's another thing I'm glad with the Orisa ban out. I was hoping to see some change there. I just want to see no more lamp. I'm mad about the Ana ban, but I'm also like I'm with everyone else. It's like perfectly balanced because you can't get rid of Orisa Mei without getting rid of Ana Widow.
Totally.
You need to have some good with the bad.
Exactly. And with like even when Baptiste was coming out, when I saw the hero trailer and I saw the immortality, I was like, oh no. Oh heck no. Well, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's no fun to play against. And sure enough,
at first, but
sure enough, it enables a team to not have any defensive ults in their composition and play fine against a Nanoblade. Like
yeah, that's also like the thing with I've realized as well. Like he got the blade out. Oh, he got bashed.
Yeah,
even
he got the lamp. He got the bongo.
The bash does fuck all. Let's just be real as well. I've seen Genji's. Oh, we got bashed. Oh, great, we're saved. No, then Tuba gets a 6K. Still, even after he got perfectly bashed, like that's what you're supposed to do. That's what they did everything right. God, I just. Uh,
Yeah, the
love
immortality
his game,
field.
but
Yeah, the immortality field kind of goes against everything that, at least in lower levels, everything that Overwatch is supposed to be about. It's like you get your ultimates and then you have to work with your ultimates to make it happen, or find pairings, and that's how you make compositions.
mhm.
Baptiste immortality field, if used correctly, big if, is just breaks everything. It breaks every single composition that you're trying to throw at them. So
It forces you to have to play to, instead of like force out an ultimate, it's force out a cooldown. Like the big thing I remember back, it used to be, okay, all right, we're gonna go in, try and grab. All right, well, let's force out transcendence, or let's force out beat, and that way we have a better chance of actually doing something. So that's counterplay.
yeah,
That's not just like, I get the immortality field is kind of counterplay, but it's lazy counterplay. It's not like it's not. It doesn't take skill essentially to build up to an immortality field to
yeah,
use it willy nilly and then it comes back. Like, don't get me wrong, like you say, it takes skill to use it right, because a lot of people use it like they're idiots. Like, you'll see it just thrown out right in the middle of the goddamn map. It's like, oh,
mm-hmm.
everyone can see that. They're gonna shoot that down in 2 seconds. No, that's not how it's supposed to be used. It's supposed to be used how it is used right now, but I don't like how it's used right now.
Exactly.
I like better.
Yeah, and Overwatch League versus ranked play is very, very different.
Oh yes, our experiences
in
are.
in Overwatch League, when they're playing Baptiste, it's like, okay, like I know when I need to use immortality, and they know when they fuck up. They're like, oh shit, like I misused my immortality at the wrong time. Now we lost the team fight.
Mhm.
In flashback to our ranked game sessions, it can be whatever it is.
Just
Immortality
use it.
goes out. Immortality goes out right at the beginning of the team fight or whatever. It's no good. But the thing I
It's
wanted to
not to keep
say,
you alive. It's
yeah,
just to fuck with the other team.
exactly. It's to
Wait,
mitigate
sorry.
damage rather than saving people's lives.
Mhm.
But I digress. What I think, what I liked about that tweet you were talking about with agilities, talking about using dive on specific maps, is I think
Mhm.
dive counters Baptiste perfectly. I think
Yes.
if you're running like a really, really strong dive, and if Diva's buffed and we're running Winston and agilities is on the Genji, that's it. Like that breaks a BAP comp, I think, pretty quickly,
It could be
especially
very successful for the Defiant if they can make that work. Yeah.
exactly, especially if Orissa's out of the comp, who can just halt the entire dive out of nowhere. So that's looking pretty good for Toronto Defiant coming up.
I'm curious to see as well if say if the theory goes that Genji maybe gets. I don't see, he's not going to be gone. He's still going to probably get like a minimum 75% pick rate. Minimum. I think I'm lowballing there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But just say if that happens and double his scan kind of comes back in a bit, I I'd like to see that for Defiant as well. I'd like to see what they can do with that, because in theory, again, they should be fine. Although you'd have to take logics off the Ash to play that, I would say. Because don't get me wrong, I think Surefour's a great tracer, but I think he's a better Ash than he is a tracer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to see Surefour on the Ash and Logis on the tracer, because Logis is a goddamn menace.
Yeah,
And he's
Logic.
arguably the best player on the Toronto Defiant right now. So
I was literally just about to say that. I think Logic has been the most versatile DPS player that we've ever had.
whatever they're paying him, it's not enough. It
He's
really is not.
yeah, yeah. Like there's a lot
How
of
he was
praise.
like, don't get me wrong,
Mm,
contenders may have helped his skill improve, but even so, how the fuck he was in there for that long without being picked up by any team? Come on, it's Mr. Logis, pick him up.
yeah,
But no, I think this schedule they have this week is okay. I'm predicting like a 1-1 week. I'm saying like it could be a
totally
2-0,
fair.
but it would be a very difficult 2-0.
Very
Like
difficult.
it could also be an 0-2. To be honest, it's either a 1-1 or like an 0-2. I'm theorizing. I'm not saying that because Toronto's playing poorly. I'm just the way. I'll start with the Justice. Just the
Yeah,
way the Justice have been playing recently. They're also a team that thrives with the Genji. Like their only move is Genji, and like I think like they have improved. Like Stitch actually looked pretty good against Gladiators the other day, but I'm still taking Logics over Stitch in that matchup. Of course, bias, but I think even just general performance wise, I think he's looked better. So I think player by player basis, we should theoretically have the edge. Like main support, when it comes to Lucio, if Lucio's played, I do honestly believe Cruz is a better Lucio than Arc. Arc plays super safe and passive, and that can sometimes be okay, but he also doesn't have much of an impact. He does fuck all. He'll just be in the back. He'll go and heal when he needs to.
Yeah.
Cruz is very aggressive and playmaker. It's a bit more risky, but can also yield better results. Aim Dog versus Karib is one of the more interesting matches. Like Tuba versus Agilities, I think it's pretty even in most ways because Tuba is actually shown to be kind of disgusting at Genji out of nowhere. I didn't watch Genji, so like I thought, oh, Tuba was just ignore that.
Oh, that boy. Oh, that boy. Oh,
But yeah,
Mr. Tuba.
Tuba. Also, I didn't know this, but you know his name backwards is like a butt.
Tuba backwards.
Let's think about it because there's two T's.
Yeah, a butt.
A butt. That's his name back. That sneaky fuck. You know he knows what he did.
That must have been planned. He must
he
have
was
been
16,
like, yeah,
and he's like, haha.
A butt. He probably tried to type it in that way, the right way first, and then Overwatch was like, no, I can't do it. And he was like, oh. And then he wrote Tuba, and he was like, haha. And then he started his Overwatch career. Yeah.
He's like, oh no, I'm stuck. But no,
yeah,
he's good. And so I think that's an interesting matchup. In theory, Toronto has the edge most positions. Janu, if Diva comes down to it, might be better than Nevitz. I'm just saying that. I think on Diva for sure. Sadimut's closer, but if it comes to Diva, Janu's kind of disgusting.
Yeah. If what you're saying is like true, I think Toronto's probably gonna try and stick to the Sigma just because Nevix is so good on the Sigma and so practiced. But you're right, like with the Washington Toronto game, both of those teams are very dependent, at least in the Summer Showdown in the last tournament. They're so dependent on the Genji. They're so dependent on having their best DPS player play Genji and work around that. Yeah. So it's really going to be a battle of that, I think. But it's
going to be a Genji battle for sure if it comes down to it.
Yeah, but I mean, we did get some pretty sweet news coming in from the Toronto Defiant camp. Them signing a new assistant coach who might have different ideas rather than the Genji comp.
It's true, and apparently, his name is Spazzo.
Spazzo, yes.
Assistant coach Spazzo, coming to the good Defiant boys from Talon Esports, where he was their head coach. Talon's a team that's okay. Talon's a really good team pretty often. Like they did very well. I'm less informed on this than I'd like to be, but I don't know if he was their coach during the Gauntlet last year, but the Talon did very well last year during the Gauntlet, and so that's very impressive. And he's a very smart person from what I can gather from the information in their hand. And there's a rumor going around that he was with them, I think, before the Summer Showdown, that he joined around that time. So, and they did really well. So
yeah, and I mean, this guy is a space rocket engineer. So I mean, if we know he's a smart boy, we know he's a very, very smart boy.
He's a good lad. He looks like the photo they used for him though is a bit. He looks like he's just like dead inside. Let's show you real quick. Look at this guy.
Yeah, there are certain media releases that come out in esports, and some of the players look miserable.
The best person to have for me is Baby Bay. If you want someone to like look like they actually enjoy their life, it's Baby Bay.
Yeah.
That boy is just loving it.
Yeah,
like him versus KSP is a fun little thing. KSP looks terrifying.
Yeah.
And Baby Bay just looks like
a little Baby Bay. Exactly.
It's just like it's 6 a.m.
Well, the first time I noticed that was in League of Legends, and some of the press releases of the teams were just like they looked sad. Like they just like early LCS. Some of the pictures of the players looked really, really sad. But hopefully Toronto gets him a better picture soon, because that picture is pretty trash.
With a jersey and
like a smile and
I know. Hopefully he gets his before FD got his, because it took FD to like last month. Maybe they get his jersey.
Oh my gosh, that boy!
He was wearing Sparkles. I think still Sparkle got of age.
God, I would just keep it. It's a lucky jersey now.
Exactly, Sparkle's a
Yeah,
god.
exactly.
Which brings us, okay, in terms
Yeah,
of though with Washington Toronto, I'm going to give it a 3-2 win to Toronto. I think they'd come out on top in the end. It
yeah,
could also be a 3-1, but I'm not, I don't know, I'm still confident in them, but I'm just not, I don't have no faith in the Justice anymore. Like, I thought they looked like shit for a while,
yeah,
but their head coach is good, Supreme, and they've been putting in a lot of work.
yeah,
And so I think they're improving. I don't really like Roar too much, but
yeah. And the thing I was gonna say for Washington and Toronto, it like when we were just talking about Spazzo, and the reason I brought him up is because he might have a whole different idea for because he's their strategic
yes,
coach.
strategy
So
and scouting.
yeah, so I mean, I don't know what his scouting background is, but strategy wise, Toronto looks like a two-sided coin. You either run the Genji with whatever, or you run dive. So I'm very interested to see if Spazzo has any ideas that they've been
Mm-hmm.
working on. If his impact on the team is really present in these games that we're going to be seeing, and if we're going to see a Genji v Genji. Like I personally, as a watcher, as a fan, as a little boy who plays in Platinum, I would love to see a Genji v Genji game. That would be amazing.
It'd be a great time.
It would be a great time to watch. Is that what Toronto thinks they need to do to win? I have no idea. I don't know. Because if it's a Genji v Genji mirror, is that our best win condition as Toronto?
Right now, I'd say yes. They've looked their strongest when agility is on the Genji, and Logis can play the Ashe or the Widow. But so I think they're gonna
Yeah.
be okay.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
we will see.
We will see. But I agree with you. I think Toronto's going to come out on top. I think probably a 3-2 is pretty close. Washington, if they're going to run the same stuff that they have been, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting
Yeah.
to see where Tuba fits. But like you said, we have a very, very serious game coming up against
Sunday
Paris.
brings us the Summer Showdown champions, current #1 team in North
Current number
America,
one.
the
Yep.
Paris Eternal. And I'm not gonna lie, I think Toronto's a good team,
Oh, God.
but okay, I wrote a preview about this even when I wrote because Vancouver plays them. Vancouver plays Paris as well,
Yeah, please
and I
enlighten us.
mentioned that I said okay, things I said were like the best win condition to going against Paris the best chance you even have, even it doesn't really affect the Paris Eternal even all that much. Like if you shut down Sparkle on Genji, congratulations, you've done something hard. You know what else is coming at you? You have fucking Etsy coming at you even soon. You got Ben Best now on his best hero, Reinhardt. And Ben Best has had the glow up. I think even more than Sato, I think Ben Best has had the glow up of the year. Ben Best looks unreal, actually, especially on the Ryan. His Reese has been great though. His Halts were sublime, but his
Yeah.
Reinhardt's been so good. And so him and Hanbin is a fucking beast as well. And it's like, oh, you think, oh, maybe they can do well against supports. Fuck, I don't know. Like, but FD Dot has arguably had. Well, let's just put it this way. You know, who removed Cruz from the starting position in his last team, FD Dot. And now they're playing each other. I'm just saying FD Dot's really good, especially if Lucio comes out. Cruz has got his hands going to have his hands full going up against him. And like, I think Kariv is and Fielder is probably closer because like Kariv is at least not on terrible ping.
Yeah.
But even that didn't affect Fielder at all. So like the man just won a championship. So I think, well, yeah, the best win condition against Paris is shutting down Sparkle and Genji. But even if you do that, the rest of their team is rookie of all the year contenders.
Yeah.
And Ben Best, who's like, I'm not saying like that, and Ben Best. It's just he's done very well. So like, you can't just say, "Oh, shut down Sparkle and you win." No.
Yeah.
It's not.
There's,
It's not that simple.
it's a little bit more complicated than that. I like that you brought up Ben Best though, because I agree. I like main tanks for a minute have been having like a hard time. Like other than Orisa mains, like it's been a hard couple of weeks for main tanks in the Overwatch League. And now they get to play the heroes that they feel really confident about, and they get to play a little bit more mobile, hopefully. And Ben Best, you're right. He's just put in the work. He had a great Orisa because he had to. He had to have a great Orisa because his entire team was playing so well, and he needed to match.
And he wanted to start as well because
Exactly.
his leadership qualities are so important to that team. Because No Smite was usually the one they had playing Orisa until like a month ago, and the Ben Best just took over.
Yeah, and that's just a testament to someone who is working their keister off to get to where they need to be and to be a number 1 best team in the region. So, I mean, it's working out great for them. Paris is going to be freaking scary this weekend.
Yes, I want to say, oh, Toronto, I love believing in an underdog.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love an underdog story. I love an upset. Fuck, man, like I don't know if I could bet
tough
on one right now
Yeah.
because like Paris is looking their strongest they've been all season. Like they were scary before they got Sparkle,
Yeah.
and then him coming in is just fucked it up. Like he forced the Genji and made it work before shit got better for Genji even.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't need the. I don't think Sparkle needs Brig to be good at Genji. And so like that's another terrifying thing. How do you beat a Paris team who's firing on all cylinders like this? Because they just beat Philly, who was also firing on all cylinders. They beat fucking Shock.
Yeah.
Shock didn't have a Genji player really. They had to. Rascal is good, okay, but he's probably just he plays everything, so he's not like the master of Genji.
Yeah.
But man, it's gonna be a tough challenge. You can't say you can't give Toronto the edge in the Genji matchup here. I don't think you can. Like I love Agilities. I think he's great. I think he's going to do well. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But Sparkle is he's been in the lead for like a month maybe, and is already an MVP candidate.
Yeah, yeah, and like Paris,
he's like Agilities on crack.
Yes, it's true. It's true, and
even especially if you watch his stream, that's kind of true. He's that boy loses his shit. Well, like I'll give you an example. Like, he's playing all this, and he just goes, he's like freaks out. He just puts his headset down and just starts jumping up on his bed and stuff like that. That kid's psycho, man. He's nuts.
He's got the young blood energy. He's got the young blood hype. That's
paired with the handsomeness, god tier Greek god looking Ben Best. Like
it's a good team, and
I would get distracted.
And I think I should be praised for this, but I haven't even brought up FD God yet. I haven't even said anything. And
I said it before you.
You did, and he's probably going to be playing Lucio or Baptiste. So it's like he'll be great. So it's just a great the hero bands play completely into Paris's hero pool, and they're coming off a huge win, a huge tournament win. So I mean, Toronto's going to have a lot to work up to, and hopefully that's what they're doing. I think in terms of practice, they're probably practicing for this game more than the Justice game.
100%.
Yeah. 100%. So I mean, we'll see what they come out with, and I'm hoping it'll be pretty good.
I think. Okay, it's not impossible.
No,
it's not impossible.
No,
nothing's impossible in the Overwatch League. Weirder things have happened.
Yeah, nothing's impossible now because Toronto beat Atlanta. As long as Toronto,
damn right.
That's what I mean. If we can beat Atlanta, who had 3-0'd us for months, almost a year, anything can happen. Anything can happen for Toronto Defiant.
Their fuel, the poutine fuel is there, man. The double doubles, Timbits are rolling in. Man.
Double toil and trouble. These boys.
This is they're killing it, and so. My current prediction, I'm going to give it a 3-1 to Paris. That being said, it could be an upset, but the upset will not come at anything less than a 3-2. Possibly reverse sweep.
Yeah.
That's maybe what they'll have to do. It's going to be that hard to do this.
It's going to be a very
it's not going to be like
it's going to be a very momentum-based game, I think. If Toronto wins a map, and I think we win the second one. But if Paris 3, if we're in a 2-0 going into halftime, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
they might need to bring in the Canadian superstar, just for mental basis and for fans.
We need him back.
I'll say sure. It's Surefour we're talking about.
If it wasn't clear,
there's multiple Canadians on the team, but only one is the one who Uber crowned the Canadian superstar, Lane Roberts.
Exactly.
But
so we'll see.
So yeah, it's gonna be a game.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens, but
I agree.
It's gonna be fun to watch.
I agree with your predictions, by the way. I think it's gonna be a 3-1 to Paris. Just like you can't bet against Paris right now. Like that'd be silly of me to think that Toronto's gonna 3-0 them. But if Toronto gets some traction under their feet, it could be a very, very exciting set, I think. Are there any other games from this week that you're like super pumped about?
I don't know if pumped is the right word.
Well, it looks like you're busy writing. You've got 2 Vancouver games coming up.
True. And I gave them a 1-1 as well. I think Vancouver's going to beat the Gladiators
Yeah.
because I said that the Titans looked better in their loss to Paris than the Gladiators did in their loss to the Justice.
Ah.
But the
Okay.
Titans played up to Paris and took a map off them.
Yeah.
The Gladiators kind of fucked. I think they took a map, but they still got fucked
Yeah.
by the Justice.
What happened to the Gladiators, man? They're
They
having
should be good, man.
they're
Like they
having
got like their DPS is unreal. Like Birdbrain is back to his old self. Kevster's probably the best pickup from contenders in the whole year
Mhm.
from NA. I don't know, man. I don't need to pin it on OG, but that dude has always had confidence issues.
Hmm.
And so like at his peak when he's feeling himself, like he's top 3 main tank. But it's just so much he gets down on himself and beats himself up that it can affect the play of the team. So, but I think this weekend they're going to play a lot of LH Cloudy, so I think they're going to be meme and shenanigans.
Yeah.
But either way, so I'm looking forward to the Titans games, but man, why does Boston have to play the Shock? Like for one of the first games coming back, they had a rough go of it, man. Like, throw us a bone here. Like we got the Shock and the Valiant in week 1 of these qualifiers. Can we just have some fun? Like I think that could they win? I don't know anymore. Like, they looked like they could for a bit, but they look so bad against the Justice.
I would like to welcome all our podcast listeners to Ethan losing his mind. Ethan, go ahead.
I just want to be happy, Pat. Like I was happy for like oh man, the Gladiators win like a week ago. They play the Gladiators again soon, so maybe I got a win coming. But
Yeah,
I gotta wait for it. And man, I just want to be happy with them. Like I got my jerseys over there. I got these new sunglasses. I want to wear them and be a cool guy in the lead now.
Ooh, a
Like,
Boston Uprising sunglasses.
Yes, from my dear friend at the website, who's Dave Oil.
Ah, nice.
I'm saying that. Don't please cut that horrible pronunciation. But she writes. She's a brilliant writer. She writes about the Soul Dynasty for the Game House.
Cool.
Brilliant writer.
Cool.
But and I just need them to be okay. There are so many problems with that team right now. Like their academy team didn't make contenders. Somehow, I don't know how with that much money and that you have a fucking I don't like they should make it contenders. They have good players. What's happening?
Yeah.
The mineral experiment did not work. Let's move it this way. The Boston Uprising season is essentially kaput. I don't think there's a way for them to make playoffs right now. Even if there maybe is a 1%, like they just announced their plans for the playoffs today, and it's very dicey. But they have 2 wins the whole year. That they won once against a Houston Outlaws team that was a piece of shit at the time.
Yeah.
And they won it, and somehow they beat the Gladiators by only winning control maps.
Yeah.
And so, I think it could happen, man. I never give up hope in these cheaty bastards. And because look, Fusion's unleashed, baby. Mm-hmm. He's got the Rhyme back. That's what we got going for us right
now. That's all he needed in the World Cup. That's all he needed. He just needed the Reinhardt.
Super will feel my wrath. Is what Fusions was going to say. He did it to Muma. He didn't do it to Super, although he didn't many times. But I think it could happen.
Yeah, it
Listen,
could
right
happen.
Now, if it happens, I'm fuck it. 3-2 win Boston. Shock. I'm calling it now.
Against the
if
Shock.
It happens, the Shock must disband.
Okay. If Boston wins either the Shock game or the Valiant game, I will buy a Boston jersey. If that's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. If they win, not take a map. If they take a map, that's fine.
Damn
if they win the game,
I'm gonna catch you on that one.
Yeah, if they win the game, I'll buy a Boston jersey.
And not one of those old jerseys. I'm talking a Staples jersey with Jerry's name on it.
Yeah, it has to be Jerry. I couldn't get anyone else. It would have to be Jerry. But yeah, that'll be good. It'll be interesting to see. But high hopes for Toronto. But I mean, at least it's a team we can cheer about now. You know?
Yeah,
we saw what they're. We saw what they're good at.
They made the semifinals, man. That's nothing to stop at. They're technically speaking a top 4 team in NA.
Currently,
Makes sense. Yeah, we'll say that if I think about that for a minute. Hey, if we don't have previous tournament results, which is what you have to do, for the next couple days, Toronto Defiant is a top 4 team in the North American region.
Yeah.
So you can't take that away from us.
But number 1 in our hearts.
Damn right. Well,
absolutely. Well, I mean, that brings us to the end of our podcast episode. Ethan, do you have anything else you wanted to say?
I just want people to be happy for their team, no matter what happens. There's good people on them.
Mm-hmm.
So if they lose poorly, please don't shit on them. Or me on Twitter, even for that matter.
Ethan.
Just for saying stuff. I just went on Twitter the other day and the shot put out a thing about name your favorite shot player with 2 emojis. I put a sunglasses face and the flex. And everyone's like, oh, is that Smurf? I was like, no, it's Super. And then this guy started trolling me. I was like, after 2 comments, I said, look, man, I just like Super, okay?
Yeah.
But
there you
so
go.
just be kind to yourselves and others, but also enjoy some trash talk as long as it's all in good fun.
Exactly. Just remember to hug your nearest Boston Uprising fan.
Please.
That's the message that we've always been saying at the podcast, is always hug your Boston Uprising fan. So
we're good people.
Yeah. Even though you cheer for a very bad team, it's okay.
It's true, and with a sketchy org, yes, I know.
Yeah, and one day they will prove you right and the rest of us wrong. It's just not this day.
No, the joys of season 1 will come back eventually.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for listening to our podcast episode. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, you should come follow us on Spotify at Games My Guy. We also come follow us on Twitter, which we are at Games My Guy, and it is run by the lovely Ethan Butler. We're chilling there. We're writing our predictions for the upcoming weeks and little goofs and gaffs, so you should go over there. If you wanted to email the podcast, we are at gamesmyguypodcast@gmail.com. And if you don't like watching podcasts and you'd prefer to watch podcasts, if you'd rather watch the podcast on YouTube, we have that as well, and it's at Games My Guy, one word. Well,
we're funny people, we promise.
We try. We at least try.
we like to be lovable, at least. We're just ourselves.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week.